What is up, everyone? Long time no see. In case you forgot who I am the Prince of the Paranormal, the Duke of the Dead, the Cryptid Keeper, the one, the only Lord Scubacabra, bringing you this long awaited episode of Somewhat Supernatural. Want to thank all of you for joining me tonight, but I'm not doing this show by myself tonight because along with me are two members of Dark Side Paranormal, which is my paranormal team. We're going to be talking to you about the Mineral Wells Haunted Hillhouse. So first and foremost, let me introduce to you one of the ancient elders of the team, the one, the only, the illustrious Joseph Rhodes. How's it going, buddy?
Dude, I'm here. Man, I'm ready to talk about some spooky stuff.
I know, dude. It's been like burning inside me. So before we get into it, though, we're introducing next. He's really not the rookie of the team, but he is the rookie of the team. You know him as the host, well, technically co-host of the Recycled Corn podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the newly shaved Ben DeLeon.
Hey, my name.
How's it going?
It's going, man. I'm enjoying the weather. I don't know about you,
I
but
know, dude. If the
enjoying it,
weather,
man.
if this could be the weather for like every day of the year, I'd be okay with it. Like, I thoroughly enjoy this rainy, nice and cool weather. Like, this is my kind of weather right
Dude,
now.
and then the thunder that was going off earlier. Remember when
Oh
they
yeah,
teased us when we were at
yeah,
Goliad, and we thought it was going to be like a dark and stormy night and all that.
yeah, yeah,
Just to turn out to be just freaking mist and fog and all that,
yeah.
which has
Yeah.
been still creepy. But
Yeah, tonight would have been, or this kind of weather is the perfect like investigating weather. Like it adds so much more to the element of investigating. So, like I said, while I have you guys here, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite locations to investigate, and that is the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas. Ben, you've only been there one time, but before we go in and talk about our experiences, what's up, Sandra D? How's it going? Um, Before we go and talk about our experiences at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House, because we all have experienced something there, and they're a bit different, than what
uh,
everybody has encountered. Now I know Joe was there for one of my experiences, and it's very well documented. So we'll talk about that one later.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, let me go ahead and give you guys a little history on the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House. So, Mineral Wells, Texas, known primarily for the crazy water mineral water that you see on the shelves of your local grocery store, but tucked away in this small town is something much more sinister: the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House. There are haunted houses for amusement, and then there are houses that are haunted, and this is definitely one that is haunted. The house has a direct tie to the Baker Hotel, which is another very well known haunted location in the same small town, and was a brothel supplying working girls and bootlegged booze for the Baker at one point.
my
S-
favorite.
Several deaths in the house occurred during this thriving period in Mineral Wells. The house is reported to be inhabited by 9 residential spirits, but many come and go, as some think that the house lays on some kind of like spiritual grand central station of sorts. There have been multiple paranormal reports, such as intelligent hauntings, residual hauntings, and visitations from the Baker Hotel. Perhaps the most unusual and most dominant is that of a little boy spirit that inhabits the upstairs area, Joshua. The little boy that haunts the house was a disfigured child born to one of the working girls, Sarah Kyle. He lived there until he was about 6 years old, born April 8th, 1953, and he died tragically in 1959. It has also been reported that one of the previous owners fell in a well behind the property and met an untimely death. He is reported to be one of the permanent guests. Several people have died on property as a result of a flu outbreak, including former owner Deborah Renfro. The home is a 3,800 square foot Victorian mansion set quietly at the bottom of the East Mountain. Kiowa and Comanche Indians also used to roam the mountain. The founder of the home, William Barclay Kyle, formed a regiment of the Texas Rangers and hunted them down. And this is written in his obituary. People also begin, once you enter this home, though, there have been, reported things that occur. Um, and people begin to feel a continuous attraction to the home, like an addiction. Sometimes having dreams about it and longing to return. And the one person I really wanted to be on the show, I messaged him because I feel like that right there describes him perfectly, and that's our buddy Tuck, who is another. I don't know that he considers himself a paranormal investigation. Yes, Brody, that is where the ghost tried. No, he didn't try to touch my penis. He touched my leg, but it's where I got scared. But Tuck, man, I think out of everybody that we've ever joined on an investigation, Tuck is the one that has spent the most time at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House, even finishing a few lone wolf investigations by himself, which is where you basically spend the night in the home and investigate by yourself all night long, which I think is it's cool, but that's to me that adds a whole new level of
Creep.
terrifying and creep factor to the investigation.
He's a one man
Oh,
wolf
heck
pack.
yeah.
He is a one man wolf pack. So the amenities of the home, there are as much as 8 areas to investigate. 19 now because I think they just opened up that area. You know what I mean? Um, there's 5 full bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a full kitchen, AC and heat are in the home. So if you're worried about, oh, it's going to be too cold or it's going to be too hot, never an issue. Unless you go upstairs during the summertime, it is hot
Yes.
as fuck in the attic. And that's where
Yes.
most of the shit goes down sometimes. Um, there's a whole control center too in the kitchen. Um, complete with tons of cameras throughout the home and outside of the home. So you can sit in the command center and watch literally every point of action in this home. And, you know, you can send people off to go do this and that and monitor everything that they do. I know what I like to do when we go is I like to live stream the surveillance cameras while we're off doing our investigations because then we can go back and check the Facebook and see if anybody caught anything on any of the cameras while we're there. They also provide paranormal equipment. Literally, you guys, anything that you can think of that you've seen on any paranormal hunting or paranormal investigating show, they have it there and it's for your use. So you book the house for $500 and you get to stay there overnight and sleep fairly comfortable if you can sleep in that kind of environment. So, boys, let's talk about our times at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House. But Ben, I want you to go first since you've only been there one time.
Right.
I want you to share some of the things you experienced there at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House.
Well, first off, I'll tell everyone, if you've never been inside of a horror movie, driving up to the Hill House, when you see it there up on the hill, as you're driving up toward, you feel like you're in a horror movie. Like you're going somewhere that you're really not wanted. And the closer you get to the house, the more of that, I don't know, creep factor that you can feel, like a foreboding. Um, walking in, like, because we had to wait for a certain time in order to check in, or however you want to call it, till they gave us a tour. Um, so that anticipation was just growing and growing and growing. So, the time that I went, I went with my wife, and my wife is sensitive. So as soon as we walked in, she saw something. She saw something off into one of the bathrooms, and I was immediately like overwhelmed. Like my senses were going crazy. Just the energy was so overbearing. Like,
Yeah, and what's crazy is I walked in right before Sandra did, and I saw the bathroom door, and I was like, I'm not looking," and I kept looking forward because I felt like if
yeah.
I looked, there was gonna be something fucking standing there. So when she said that, I was like, "Oh my god, that's why I didn't look because I knew something would fucking
Like,
be there."
and then they said that the air just felt oppressive. It felt electrified. Everywhere was a different type of energy. And honestly, like I said, I fully admit I bitched out at this place. I didn't do things on my own that I probably should have. I didn't
Yeah.
explore as much as I should have because I was overwhelmed. I was like sensory overload. And I mean, I don't even want to say I pretended to put on a brave front because I was just trying to get through the night.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, and I
it
think that's what we do on or I know I do. That's what I do on most investigations. I can't speak for Joe and definitely not Mike, but when I go, I just try to make it through the night. You know what I mean? And then once we're done with the investigation, I just try to get as much sleep as I can and try to just kind of block everything out while we're there because uh, it's rough. It's rough,
did,
man.
and it felt like I said, like I was in the VR in a horror game, and I'm watching you guys like do your thing, and I'm watching you get attacked, oppressed, or whatever you want to call it. And then Joe had that experience with it also, and both of y'all like having different events happening to you that require different types of treatment. I guess you could say Joe had to get out of the house completely, and I think you it wasn't so bad, but I could tell something was happening to you.
Yeah,
But
I think a lot of it had to do with like paranoia and stuff too at first because it was scary, you know, and I guess that's like what like why I keep doing this because I feel like one day if I ever walk into a location and I don't get at least paranoid, then I'm done investigating because it's not fun for me anymore. I like feeling on edge. I like that feeling where holy shit, like is something gonna pop out? Which majority of the times nothing really fucking pops out in fucking broad daylight or anything, but it it's that thrill for me. And
yeah,
once I lose that thrill, I think I'll be done investigating. But
and see, it was this investigation that made me reevaluate, um, my plan of attack when it comes to paranormal investigating. And I had to think like, okay, people get choked, people get scratched, but no one's gotten killed. No one's like, you don't see like in the movies
yeah,
a knife, shoot up and just go straight at somebody's eye or nothing like that. I've never
yeah,
seen that happen. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live through this no matter what. Maybe I'll be creeped out, maybe even startled, but I'm gonna live through it. So
yeah,
like, and then you could tell. I mean, you even said after that, like my personality changed as far as these investigations go. Going off places by myself, and when we went into Yorktown, you're like, "Hey, put this camera in the basement." Okay, and
yeah.
then
And you just went and like I was like, fuck yeah, Ben stepping it up because I still wouldn't fucking go down there by myself. I don't give a fuck.
it's like the one place where somebody actually did get killed down there, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, let's go do it." But yeah, so this place changed me. It did affect me, and even to this day, Sarah and I both still want to go back.
yeah. And it is one of those places that has return factor because you're gonna have a different experience every time. It's not a place where you're gonna have the same activity, because we Joe and I have gone back multiple times at this point now, and we've experienced different things every time. I know that time that we went with you guys, that there was fucking, we heard that audible growl
Yeah.
while they were giving us the rundown of the place.
And Sandra was in that room by herself in that chair, whatever, and she said it was like right in her ear.
Yeah. And
So,
so it's
Brody's
it's
like,
it's a crazy place, man.
Brody said it's safe to say this place is the most haunted you've been to for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely got the most activity. Uh, there's a lot of places you go to where there'll be some good activity for, maybe an hour straight, and then it kind of trickles down and, kind of dissipates. This place, it never lets up, and it doesn't help the fact that they keep bringing in more haunted items. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a pretty good spot. Does not disappoint.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Is the most badass bed and breakfast where you don't get breakfast.
You're
There's
lucky if you get a
donuts.
bed.
Oh,
There's
that's true.
donuts.
Yeah, yeah. Continental breakfast. There you go.
Sonny
Yeah.
brought us donuts, and and the owners are super awesome people. They're real chill. They leave you to your investigating once you're done. Once they yeah, and you don't have to get like a full tour or anything like that. If you just want to go and investigate, you go and investigate. If you want the full tour, you get the full tour. And I
Oh yeah.
think the first time we went, or that time we went with Robbie, we got the full tour, and then we didn't even start investigating until like 1 or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, because Sonny was with us, and yeah, it was definitely up until at least midnight, if not later.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know. But yeah, the first time we went, we just got, I believe, like the 30-minute history of the place.
Yeah. Which I thought
Uh,
was cool because,
yeah.
and they do tell you about all of the hauntings and, Toby, which is a completely different entity that is there. And Brody said, so it's safe to say that this place is the most haunted that we've been to. I want to say it is. And it's got a lot of well documented evidence. I want to say it's
Oh
probably one of
yeah.
the most well known documented places that we've been to.
Like just
Hmm.
that video of that lady getting jerked off the bed, and I don't mean
Oh yeah.
in a sexual way. I mean in
And
the like.
speaking of that, we are going to play that video here in just a bit. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm uploading it right now, actually.
Nice. Yeah, that was intense, and that's the main reason why I wanted to sleep in that room.
And
And
that was the room where you all had that experience.
hmm
Well, we
yeah.
had multiple. We've had multiple experiences in that one room
Oh yeah.
because the poker chip appeared, which
Yeah,
is
that was
on one trip we went on, we played poker with a ghost, and we invited him to go to the back room with us, and out of nowhere, you see on camera. I wish I had the footage. Damn it! I got to see if I can find it. I think it's on our YouTube. I'm gonna go look. Um, the poker chip appears on the ground out of nowhere, and there was no way to fake that.
yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa!" But it didn't feel anything malicious. It wasn't anything that like we were like, "Oh, holy shit!" But
Yeah.
it was a really cool event that occurred, and they caught it on their cameras.
Yeah, on their closed circuit, whatever.
CCTV.
Yeah,
Brody said, "Did Ben just say jerked off or dragged off?" He
no,
said
no,
jerked off the bed. Okay, so
it
since
was
we're
a
talking about
jerk. It
that,
wasn't a drag.
so my main reasoning for wanting to go to this location was because I saw this news article and I saw this video and I said that was faked. There's no fucking way they faked that. So I wanted to go and prove that this was faked. And when we showed up, I was shocked when I realized there's absolutely no fucking way that this could have been faked. None at all. What's up, Anthony? How's it going, buddy? So I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you guys. Check this out. This is a news article about the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House.
Welcome back. Every week this month, we're taking you to some of the most haunted places in Texas. Tonight, Sean Giggy takes us to the Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, where he had an encounter of his own.
If you're driving through Mineral Wells near the Baker Hotel, you'd be wise to follow the signs, to stop, and do not enter the Haunted Hill House. Experts have called it the most haunted house in the paranormal world.
I won't sleep in this house. I have before in the past, and that's when I was attacked.
Attacked by what?
They're not spirits, they're entities. They're bad things.
Owners Catherine and Eddie Estes aren't the only ones who've been attacked.
A lot of people have been injured physically in this room right here.
Visitors can rent the house and do their own paranormal research, but most people who stay here don't make it through the night.
Something crazy happened, and they're like, we need to go ahead and go.
We've had scratches, bite marks, burn marks.
And a lot of it comes from an entity they call Toby.
We can go into Toby's room real quick.
One of the women staying here took this picture. You can clearly see a face they believe is Toby.
And it was,
Oh, damn it. Hold on.
we need to go ahead and go.
We've had scratches.
Hold on. I'm trying to
bite
pause it on
marks,
Toby so that we
burn
can
marks.
show Toby.
And a lot of it comes from an entity they call Toby.
We can go into Toby's room real quick.
One of the women staying here took this picture.
All right. So this, and I'm sorry for the audio listeners that cannot see this right now, but it's a photo that they have there at that was taken there at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House, and you see somebody clearly standing in the doorway, and off to the left you can see what looks to be, the only way I can describe it is demonic entity looking over. It's all black. You can make out the eyes, the nose. It's got a creepy ass smile, and it's just
Yeah,
like
the
he's peeking around
smiles.
the corner.
It looks like it's holding one of Ben's cat balls.
Right.
He might be. He might be holding one of Ben's cat balls. So that right there is the entity known as Toby. That is the name he goes by, but it. What was the name? Osmodeus or Osmodeus or something like that.
Osmodeus. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, let's continue watching.
You can clearly see a face they believe is Toby.
And it was one of the creepiest things I've
Other guests say they've heard Toby's demonic voice.
It's very quick, stuff like that.
But what happened downstairs will make your skin crawl.
Okay, this is what I was talking about.
The most, horrible things have happened in this room.
Pause it right
Now
there,
watch.
Steven.
One of the women on
Go back where it shows the bed proximity to the wall. Okay. The lady was, laying on what you would say, like the right side of the bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And then somebody was standing there at the foot of the bed. And the way she got jerked, somebody would had to have been standing either directly next to, which they were not on camera, or leading through the wall in order to grab the lady and pull her with the velocity that they did.
Yeah, because it was with a lot of force. And so when we went, I stood between the wall and the bed. And I stood there and I said, okay, let me see. Could I pull without anybody? And there's no physical way that they could have faked what you guys are about to see.
Yeah,
And once
'cause even that picture, it looks like there's more space between the bed and that wall. There's only
not.
2.5, 3 feet. So, yeah. So for someone to grab a hold and yank somebody off, it's
Oh, Brody, it's not even a
impossible.
fucking mannequin. It's like an evil nurse thing. But
Yeah.
that's where they would there was a doctor that would, I guess,
unalive unborn children.
yes, he would unalive unborn children of the brothel, and everything happened in that room. So they have this nurse mannequin in there and a whole bunch of like doctor stuff too. So here we go. Watch this shit.
In this room. Now watch.
One of the women on the bed started taunting a spirit when all of a sudden something pulled her off the bed.
So we're going to rewind it again.
A year later, that same woman
There is no physical way somebody could have pulled her off that fucking bed.
See, Brody jerked off the bed.
She was jerked off the fucking bed. Like it wasn't even.
Yeah, and even if you look right there in between like the guy's arm, that space where someone would have to be standing, there is no movement at all when she gets yanked off the bed.
Yeah, I mean, and you see, like I said, you see the guy there. There's nobody else there. It's just them laying in the bed, and I mean, you like I said, you could see for yourself.
So we're going to rewind it again.
How much
A
force
year
that-
later, that same woman visited the house again. Something scratched her so badly, blood soaked through her shirt. At this point, I wasn't sure I was believing any of this until,
What was that?
Did you hear that?
in the middle of the interview, we heard something scratching. My microphone didn't pick it up very well, but I'm being completely honest when I tell you I heard it clearly.
I just heard like scratch.
And a little later, I heard the same demonic growling many others described. I'm not convinced if it was a ghost, a spirit, or a demon, but I do know I can't explain it. And if you don't believe me, make a reservation, because I bet you won't make it through the night.
And that is a actual true statement. People rent this house out, and not many of them make it through the night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There-
when Brody comes down to visit, we're taking him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
See how he does.
Once Brody moves to the States, it's fucking on. Brody, you're already part of fucking Dark Side Paranormal, buddy.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
take him to Haunted Hill House. We'll take him to
Get your
Yorktown. We'll,
shirt, your
everything.
rookie shirt.
No,
Yeah,
Brody,
yeah.
Brody don't get a rookie shirt. He's an elder automatically.
Damn it.
He doesn't have to have any fucking.
Yeah, he's
investigation
got
under
he's
his
got an
belt.
Australian accent, guys. So it's it's automatic,
It's automatic.
Fuck,
He's,
that's true.
and he can shred on the guitar.
As soon as he gets here, here's your cat ball, sir.
here's your cat ball from Ben's arsenal. So Toby is one of the spirits that, or the entities, like, because he's not a spirit that resides there. He's the one, and I feel like, while he is a demonic entity, I think he's kind of like the protector of the house as well. You know,
He might be keeping away some other bad energy, maybe because he wants to be top dog.
yeah, and that's what I think. I think he wants to be top dog of the place, which is which is fine, completely fine.
Oh yeah.
And I just know he did. That had to have been him that fucking growled when we went, because, like I said, it was audible and we all heard it
Oh yeah.
clear as fucking day. Like there was no denying that. Um, so I know also in the living room, one of the things that I experienced when I was in the oh my god, what is it called? That room with all the mirrors.
Oh, the
Psychomantium.
Yeah,
So I'm sitting in the Psychomantium. Mike's sitting on the couch. Joe's in the living room. Was it just us three that went that time?
I think so.
And I'm sitting in the Psychomantium, just chilling, recording, and I feel something touch my shoulder, and I automatically just fucking run out, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope.
Out of it.
That was when Mike made the fastest man alive.
Yeah, the fastest
video.
man alive video. Yeah. I actually think that's on our. I think I put that one on our YouTube. I've uploaded a few videos to our Dark Side Paranormal YouTube. We don't have everything up there that I would like to have on there, but there are a few things up there, and that was one of the things that I uploaded just because, hey man, it's all in fun. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say I'm the bravest guy on the team, because I'm not.
Should I push the button?
No, because I have the video. I have the video right here, and I'm gonna play it for our lovely viewers right here. So, like I said, I am not the bravest on the team. I will never claim to be the bravest on the team. This is a video. It's actually a screen recording of my leg getting grabbed. I'm sitting in almost the same spot where the woman got yanked off the bed, and part of me wanted to get jerked off on that bed.
Because I was on that bed. I was on that bed with you, so
yeah, I had my fingers.
Well, I was next to it.
That's how we earned the spot as an elder.
But it didn't happen. So let me see. Here it is. Let me share my screen.
Anthony asks, how many times have y'all been there? I've only been once.
Ooh, 4 or 5 times? I can't hear you, Joe.
I know at least 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I'll be on the safe side and say 4.
I want to say it's been about 4 or 5 times.
And counting.
All right. Let's watch this lovely video of me almost shitting my pants. Let's see. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah. Is this where Joe does his sexy dance? I don't know if
yes, it is.
Handle that many viewers right now.
This dance is for Brody, by the way.
Oh shit! Look at that hips.
Get it, Joe. Get it, Joe.
Oh, it gets better.
It's weird because Joe's not even wearing a shirt. That's just how white he is. Oh shit!
There you go.
Go dance with the nurse. Ah, she's creepy.
So there we are talking about the nurse, Brody.
I want to shake her hand, but
oh!
What?
Oh! Oh! No! No!
What?
No!
I don't know. I don't know why you ran out, but he scared me. He scared. Scuba scared the crap out of me. I don't know what he saw.
So while Joe's laughing his ass off at me, I freak out because I'm like, hey, go dance with the nurse. Mind you, when we do our investigations, we do fuck with each other. Like, we have to. Like, that's part of the being a team. You know, we're not 100% serious 100% of the time, but when it's go time, it's go time. But there's a lot of downtime in these investigations, and that's what they don't show you guys on TV. And that's why I love the fact that we live stream our investigations, because you guys get to see every single thing all the way through. Now, we are going to edit everything down into episodes and, you know, eventually have our condensed episodes where you just see nothing but the action. But we're showing you guys the actual side of investigating that most people won't show you. They want you to think that it's boom, 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 boom. Oh, this happened, and there's times where we sit there for 3 hours and absolutely nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's times where we want to take a break. We sit down for like 30 seconds and then we hear something and it's go time again.
Yeah, sometimes you can't even take a piss, or you're paranoid to even sit down if you got a shit.
Oh yeah, especially in Hill House, because that bathroom.
And so especially if there's a mirror behind you or in front of you, like even worse.
Yeah, that bathroom in Hill House, like the toilet. If you sit on the toilet, there's a door right in front of you, and I'm just staring at the doorknob, praying it doesn't turn. I'm like, oh god, no.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you could always go use the murder bathroom, but who wants to fucking use the murder bathroom?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, absolutely fucking not.
It's like, well, after I killed those nachos, I mean.
But yeah, so we're there, and Joe and I are goofing around, and I had the spirit box connected, and it's scanning the radio channels, and it picked up a country station, so I just paused it there, and we're jamming to lay you down, love to lay you down, and we're being goofy, and we had been in there, and absolutely nothing was going on. There was nothing, absolutely nothing, no activity, nothing, and so we're goofing around, we're having a good time, and boom, I feel what feels like fingers around my leg, and I'm like, nope, and I didn't even run forward. I jumped over the bed. Like, it took me like 4 hops.
Yeah.
It took me like 4 hops to get over that bed, and I was like, get me out of here. And so Joe had no idea what the fuck was going on. He was just like, what the fuck happened? And he did get scared. But not by the ghost. He got scared by me.
When a man your size is running towards you, you would get scared.
No, Kelly, we're not at the house right now. We're just talking about our experiences that we have had there at the Mineral Wells Haunted Hill House. We have been there several times, but we are not live there right now.
Yeah, we're at our own house, which
yes,
we have haunted items at our house too.
And we do. I have my little cabinet that is right here, and I have multiple haunted objects and objects that I have been given or have come across that have some kind of activity with them.
Oh,
and I
my
just
baby up here.
And I have Boner.
Ben has a giant skeleton that we call Boner. Oh, yes. So every time that we go on investigation, guys, we do love to stop off at antique stores. We love to stop at, resale shops, any place that could potentially have haunted items.
The screen.
And that is one of the items that Joe picked up right there. And that doll is creepy.
Yes, she is.
We actually saw that doll twice before Joe ever bought it. He bought it on the second time, but the first time we went, he was iffy about it. It did give off a EMF reading when we went.
This is actually my first time taking it out of the case ever.
And now Joe is cursed.
This is my baby. She's a 1927 American character Happy Tot doll. But yeah, her hands are deteriorating, and she's just sucking on them. I can't help it. She's so cute.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. That is a no for me.
Didn't you say that dog moved one time?
Yeah, it turned around. And yeah, it's still my first time taking her out. Hopefully I didn't let something out.
So what is one of the memorable things that you encountered at the home, Joe? Other than, because we have the team stuff that happened, but do you have anything that occurred to just you?
What's always going to stick out in my mind is when I was in Jacob's room. I went in there by myself. It was the first time we went there. I think we were there with Ben and Sandra. I went in there. I was like, man, I want to stay in this room by myself for a little bit. I had a walkie-talkie on. And yeah, so I went to go lay down on that bed that girl got jerked off of. And so I was in there for about 20 minutes, maybe 25. And when I first got in there, it was fine. Nothing felt out of place. I mean, nothing. And after laying there for a little bit, I, the only way I can describe it is the room filled up, like it was closing in. It was packed in there, like all the energy. Just it felt like I was surrounded. So that's when I got on the walkie-talkie and I was like, "Hey, someone come in here and see what you guys feel because something just changed and it feels way different." And so Mike came. Uh, he walked in the room and immediately he's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "It's heavy in here." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I can't explain it." It was almost like I got depressed after
Oppressed.
oppressed, and so I'm like, "Man, it's different." So Mike's like, "Hey, let's get out of this room. Let's get you out of here for a bit." I was like, "All right." So we went out, sat in the living room area. Well, I remember walking out of the room, but after that, the next thing I remember is being outside, which from what everybody's telling me was about a 30-minute span where I just lost. I don't remember any
You
of
were
it.
spaced out, like your eyes were glassed over. It like even Sandra was like, "There's some weird energy coming off of Joe right now,"
Yeah, I
and
mean,
she suggested like we need to get him out of the house.
hmm
I think that's when Mike was like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna take him out and all that." And didn't you
yeah,
throw up that night?
yeah. As soon as I stepped foot out of the house, I started dry heaving. I was like, "Oh, I gotta throw up. I gotta throw up." And man, it was
Well,
just
isn't that a case of like during exorcisms? A lot of time when the entity leaves the person, they wind up
that,
throwing it up.
that's what I've heard. Yeah, and whether it was trying to get out of me to get back into the house, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
probably
But
what it was, dude. It's like something was trying to take over you, and then
hmm
you just threw it up as soon as you left because you crossed that barrier, that
yeah,
threshold.
that threshold. Yeah, and to me, that's always gonna stick with me. Just that feeling and the fact that I lost about 30 minutes of time. Like I can't explain it. I don't know what it was. And it doesn't help that I was talking shit all night to
Oh,
Jacob,
you were
which
talking shit to that poor kid, Spirit,
yeah.
thinking
Eh,
he
eh,
was the doctor.
I thought Jacob was the doctor the whole time and it was some 8-year old little kid. So
And
now
then
every time I go back, the first thing I do, I walk in the house and it's right there to the right is the room. So I open up the door. I'm like, "Hey, Jacob, remember me? I'm sorry for talking shit." So, that's what I do every time now, and every time I leave, I tell them bye. But
Poor
yeah,
kid.
it was
Dude,
heavy. That was
and
weird.
and you went off on it too. Like
Oh yeah,
you were saying some like
bro. Like
mean shit to this fucking poor kid ghost.
he's
I
probably like on the other side, just going, "What the fuck?"
dude, I would have made Brody so proud that night.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, dude. And finally I was like, Joe, why are you talking shit to Jacob? Jacob's the little kid. And you're like, no, he's not. He's the doctor. I'm like, no, you've been talking shit this whole time to the little kid. And you were like, oh shit, you're right.
You're gonna you're gonna need to pay for the therapy sessions and shit.
Right? I mean, yeah, I felt bad, but
Well,
man,
that's
he
good
he,
because we're
he
running
got
a
me.
good show on betterhelp.com/ um, dark side journal.
Promo code Dr. Phil.
So I have a
Nah, but yeah.
video here, but
Yeah, I saw that about Jack Osborne and Katrina. She, they had to leave and all that, which, at first I was all like, man, that's kind of weak. She had to leave, nothing really happened while we were there. But then I started thinking about it, I was like, wait, shit did happen. It just didn't happen to me. So I
yeah.
can't really be judging. Um, but, things were, like I said, that freaking house changed me so many different ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. That place for anybody who doesn't believe and wants to experience something. You cannot leave that house and not believe that there's something there that you cannot explain.
Yeah, like my best friend, right? Jesse, he's, nah, there's no such thing as ghosts or whatever. It's like, oh, really? I was like, why don't I take you to the Hill House and I'll leave you there for, just an hour, by yourself. It's like, I just give you a flashlight. You can walk around and all that. Nope, I ain't fucking with, nope. I was like, well, if they're not real, you don't got nothing to worry about,
Yeah,
right?
what are you worried
Right?
about if it's not
Oh, I
real?
ain't taking that chance. Like, oh, well, then there's a possibility.
Oh god. Yeah, that place is something else, dude. I love that place. and I can't. I want to go back because they opened up that new room.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, there's a new. I'm guessing. Well, I'm thinking it's off of Joshua's room. You remember that crawl space?
Yeah.
I think they opened that up and made it a room.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that they finished it up not too long ago. But if you go on their site on Facebook, Haunted Hill House, you can see them like redoing that and everything.
Oh, that's
So I
cool.
want to check that out. Yeah, because I never went back in that crawl space, so like I was afraid I'd fall through or something.
Sandra went a lot. She said that there was something calling her back there. So
Man,
I don't know. I didn't
it was a
want to
rat.
spoil it, so I wasn't about to go.
It was just a raccoon.
She's a Disney princess. That's why.
She speaks to animals.
Yeah,
Brody,
Brody, we're gonna go back, man. Like it's not a place where, like I said, there's a lot of teams that go and they bitch out, and they have, and like I said, I'm by no means am the brave one on the team, and I never will be. And I'd go back. I love going back to this place. Like it's one of my favorite places to investigate. And I maybe we haven't experienced what other teams have experienced there, and that's why they run out, or maybe they're just inexperienced and they can't
Yeah,
handle it, you know. And for Jack though and Katrina to leave, that
yeah, that's
that kind
crazy.
of that's weird because like I said, we've been there multiple times and we get sick, we push through, you know, we feel oppressed, we push through, you know, and we spend the night in every location that we investigate or we try to.
Yeah, I think the only time we didn't actually sleep in a location,
Ozona.
well, Ozona, because man, I think that place was falling apart.
Yeah.
And one time at Yorktown, it was too damn. Well, no, I take that back.
No, y'all stayed in. I
Yeah,
slept in the car.
me and Mike slept inside. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cold that night.
I'm a diva, guys, on these investigations. I am a fucking diva. I need to not be sweating at night or I'm not gonna be able to go sleep. And there's already
Yeah,
the thought of a ghost grabbing my fucking foot when I'm trying to sleep, so I'm already on edge. So
which happened to Mike at the jail, which was awesome.
it did, but that'll be for another episode because I want to continue doing this and I want to get the whole team on, and that way we can all talk about our experiences, and maybe that's what the rest of this season will be. It'll be our personal experiences with these investigations, and we do have a place that we've never investigated coming up next weekend. Next was it,
Yep.
next Friday?
Next
oh yeah,
Friday
your
night.
employee of the quarter grand prize that you won for your second quarter. You get
Shut the hell up, Ben. Shut the hell up. But also, I do want to give a quick shout out to all of our listeners in Japan, Domarigato. Thank you for making this podcast chart on the Japanese charts on Apple Podcasts. Like, I woke up
Heck
to that
yeah.
news the other day and I was floored. And, you know, I was honestly thinking of just kind of being done with this podcast. I didn't have the drive for it anymore. And when I literally the next morning when I woke up, TJ sent me that screenshot and I was like, what? I'm charting? Like my show is charting? How? There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of paranormal podcasts out there. And granted, I'm in the, 208 position, but that's 208 out of hundreds of thousands of paranormal podcasts. And
Heck
that's
yeah.
because it dropped. It was at 165. So I'm just completely, I was floored and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever pops in my head. That's what we're doing. I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up because I don't have a topic to talk about. We can talk about the paranormal all day, every day. That's why I started this show, was to talk about my personal experiences. You guys want to listen to an awesome, more structured podcast? Be sure to check out 50 States of Terror with Anthony Diaz, because that is, you get the knowledge, you get the facts. Here you get my experiences. You get our experiences. I do love talking about other things, and I will talk about other entities and cryptids and things of that nature. But for the main part, this show's just going to be about my experiences and what we do and why we love to do what we do.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Shit,
I did have
we could talk about the new Bud Light can.
Why? No, I'm not trying to get canceled. No, thank you. I'm
Okay.
not. I just
Actually,
started charting on the phone. Shut up, Joe. We're gonna edit
um,
that part out.
actually, one thing that we could talk about is the Joe brought up the jail. We have an event coming up with the jail.
Well, Joe and
True,
I have an
true.
event. They wanted 2 elders there, so
Yeah, it's just us.
it's just
I
us.
meant us
Sorry.
as a team.
Hate to break it to you, but this isn't a dark side. This is a Joe and Scuba venture.
Yeah, this is a an event held by another host who wanted us to come in and just help him. He knows that we've done it before. We hosted an event there before, and we've been there
No,
many
no, no. Well,
times.
that's
So,
what I'm saying. As dark as I wouldn't be able to make it anyway.
So, and guys, I mean, if you guys want to go on an investigation with us, this is your chance.
mhm.
Go to what's the
New Star Company.
New Star Company, I believe it's called. They are
I'll
hosting the
check it
event
out.
next Friday or next not next Friday.
2 weeks.
Next Friday is Victoria. In 2 weeks, they are hosting, but we are the main host for you guys. We're going to be the ones that are leading you guys around. We're going to be the ones showing you guys the ropes of the haunted Lavaca County Jail. And so if you've ever wanted to go on an investigation, this is your chance. Buy your ticket. We don't benefit from this. We, like I said, we're just there to help out. This is not
Share the
our
knowledge,
show.
share the passion.
But if you guys have ever wanted to join us on an investigation, this is a great starter location for investigating. There's nothing too intense. You're not going to get scratched, but you will experience things that you cannot explain. And
Oh
that
yeah.
is all you can ask for. Like that's why we do this to try to explain the unexplainable. And when it's not able to be explained, that's when you can call it paranormal.
Paranoia too.
Brody said, "I'm really fascinated with Joe's haunted doll." Well, all of those Raggedy Ann dolls too gave off EMF readings at one point. That's why he has his little collection there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The place. Let me see if I can. No, it's not gonna work. It's called New Star Event Company, and yeah, we'll be there April 21st at the Old Lavaca Jail. You can go to the New Star Event Company and purchase a ticket. I think $60, or I think it's $100 for VIP, stay overnight, stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's gonna be a good time, guys. Like we've hosted an event there before. It's sold out. It was a great time. You know,
And
we
the
made
ladies
some.
who run the place are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
oh yeah, Deb and Lisa, yeah,
yeah, we
they're
love
awesome.
them. They're awesome. Yeah. So you guys just be sure to, like I said, if you guys want to go on an investigation with us, because a lot of you say, "Oh, let us go with you. Let us go with you." Well, now's your chance. Now's your chance to go. You've been wanting to go. There's only limited spots. Of course, you have to get yourself to the jail. Maybe if you're cool, Joe and I may let you ride in Dark Side One with us, but
It's possible.
it's a possibility. We'll see. We'll see. So I want to say, thank you guys for joining me here on the show. Ben, go ahead and start us off. Throw out any socials, anything that you want to promote.
Well, what I want to promote is my podcast, along
Our
with my,
podcast, you dickwad.
along with my illustrious co-host / former assistant,
Fuck
Scuba
you.
Steve, Recycled Corn, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow the Facebook page, like the Instagram, Twitter page. Um, I'm not going to get into the TikTok thing because I don't feel like it right now, but just follow Recycled Corn on all the stuffs. Rate us 5 stars, and just go to the pages and do the thing. You know what to do.
Yeah, and that's a completely different show. We talk about anything and everything. It's like Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing
And everything.
and everything. So be sure to check us out on the Recycled Corn podcast. Also, if you guys ever have any questions for the Recycled Corn podcast, you can email us at
recycledcornpod@gmail.com.
and let Ben know that you're only listening because Scuba Cabra is on there. Joe, anything you want to promote, buddy?
Man, just my new grinder account.
Oh my God.
I'm just playing. No, just as always, I want to promote Dark Side Paranormal on Facebook. We're getting out there on YouTube here more. soon. I'm gonna actually get a heat press machine and everything like that, a sublimation printer, a Cricut. I'm gonna start pressing up some merch.
Fuck yeah.
So we'll start getting that out there. What else? New investigation next week and the week after that, and trying to get onto the Lexington. I left a couple messages. Yeah, I think that's about it, man. Just follow us, man. Get our following up there. We're almost at 10,000 right now, so keep pushing.
Hell yeah. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host with the ghost, the prince of the paranormal, the duke of the dead, the cryptid keeper, the sinister minister, you name it, I am it, the one, the only Lord Scuba Cabra, saying thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, to listening to the audio episodes. Be sure you can go on Spotify. You want to watch the old video episodes, go to YouTube, look up Somewhat Supernatural, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you consume your podcast needs, you can find Somewhat Supernatural. Thank you once again for helping me chart in Japan. To all of our Japanese listeners, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll see you guys here in a couple of weeks with another episode of Somewhat Supernatural. Stay spooky, my friends.